There are certain sweet potatoes that you shouldn't really opt for, not because they're dangerous or they're gonna do anything bad. As a matter of fact, like any sweet potato is probably better than a regular potato and probably better than a myriad of different foods. But when you look at the plethora of different sweet potatoes we have to choose from, if you wanna know the data and you wanna know the research, then, well, I'm gonna give it to you and you'll choose the best sweet potato. Let's break it down. So the benefit that we get from sweet potatoes really ends up being two different components. We're gonna focus on one of them. Now, one side is the resistant starch piece, which is an entirely separate discussion talking about the microbiome, talking about metabolic health, talking about blood glucose modulation, and all sweet potatoes seem to be very good at that. And I'll give you a quick tip there. Heat your sweet potato, then let it cool a little bit, and honestly, if you're down for eating it cold, that's gonna get you the best effect. But that's not what we're focusing on. Sweet potatoes have three very, very potent antioxidants that have like their own separate bodies of research within each category. So anthocyanins, chlorogenic acid, which is usually in things like coffee and things like that, but we have a higher concentration of that when we look at sweet potatoes. And then we have beta carotene, which is a carotenoid, which is still an antioxidant compound, but that's what kind of gives them their orange color. Now, the reason that I did this video is there's a really interesting body of research that took a look at different colored flesh of sweet potatoes and saw different benefits. So this study was published in Food Chemistry, and they took a wide variety of sweet potatoes and they analyzed the antioxidant profiles. What they found is that the deeper, the darker the flesh color, the better the overall antioxidant profile. Now, when you look at anthocyanins, those are the antioxidants that give it sort of that purplish pigment, okay? So when you look at various sweet potatoes that have a purple pigment, like Hawaiian sweet potatoes, like Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes, but also ones like the Stokes sweet potatoes, which have a lot of purple skin and purple inside. Okay, those are the ones that are richer in anthocyanins, which seem to have a very powerful effect on the brain specifically. But then you look at ones like garnet. Okay, garnet sweet potatoes are going to be ones that are more orange. These are going to have higher amounts of beta carotene in them. Also things like Covington, right? Covingtons are going to be really deep orange. And then you have various Japanese sweet potatoes, which are going to be white on the inside, which might have a decent amount of chlorogenic acid, but they're purple on the outside. So with this, we need to understand how much should we eat and which ones should we choose. Bottom line is going to be the Okinawan, the Hawaiian type sweet potatoes, are going to be the best ones that you can possibly eat. The deepest, darkest color. That's why they are so deep purple. And even though they're purple, and you would think, is there any beta carotene in these at all? It's just because they're largely dominated by anthocyanins. So huge impact on the brain, but also huge impact on the vascular system because of the beta carotene. So interesting research suggesting that beta carotene and lycopene, which you usually get out of tomatoes, has a huge impact on reducing oxidative stress in the vascular system. As a matter of fact, they've seen in research that when you took a look at over 1,000 men, 194 of them over about a 12-year period had myocardial infarction, heart attacks. And all of those men were deficient in lycopene and beta carotene. So sweet potatoes make sense not just for digestion, but also for the heart. Now, when it comes down to the microbiome benefit and the metabolism benefit, you're gonna get that with pretty much any sweet potato. And there's Jersey sweet potatoes, there's O. Henry sweet potatoes, which are white on the outside and white on the inside. So those don't have nearly the antioxidant profile, but they're still good for the gut. I also put a link down below if you're kind of focused on the gut for something called Seed, which is a synbiotic. I talk about them a lot on my channel. So it's a probiotic, which is a prebiotic and a probiotic in one capsule, which is why it has a capsule inside of a capsule. It's kind of a cool technology. Anyway, that link down below will save you 25% off if you want to give them a shot. So if you're trying to kind of remodel your gut microbiome and you're adding sweet potatoes in for that reason, you may want to consider adding a good probiotic in as well. So that link down below saves you 25% off your entire order through Seed for their synbiotic. So check them out down below after this video. So now we look at another study that was published in the journal Metabolism, so we can kind of learn how much we should really be consuming. So what this study did is it divided sweet potato consumption into three groups: a high dose, a moderate/low dose, and placebo. Now, what they found is that the high dose ended up having significantly more insulin sensitivity at the end of a few weeks than the group that had moderate or placebo. So with this, we can back all this kind of data out and get an understanding of how much we should really consume. And the good news is it's not that much. Like, we're talking small amounts of grams. We're not talking huge copious amounts. So if you're trying to get a metabolic benefit as far as insulin sensitivity is concerned, you can really choose any sweet potato. But again, I would opt for like the Okinawan, Hawaiian type sweet potatoes or the Stokes sweet potatoes whenever you can, the ones with the deep, deep purple. It's gonna get you the best effect. But these, you can get away with eating about a half a cup serving of them cubed every other day. Okay, that's going to get you the insulin sensitivity benefit, and it's dose dependent. So if you have sweet potatoes every day, then that benefit almost doubles. Now, I'm sure there is a tipping point where if you had sweet potatoes with every single meal every day, you wouldn't get the same benefit. So here's what I recommend you do. Since we get more beta carotene from like the garnet yams and the sweet potatoes that have the orange in the middle, I would recommend having those one day, then having sweet potatoes that are purple the next day, and then kind of rotate back and forth. And the only time you really need to have the white sort of fleshy ones are gonna be when that's all that's available and all you want is the gut microbiome effect. So as always, keep it locked to here on my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.